aisle. Here's a big auction haul of stuff, and I've got to unpack it. I just thought I'd show you the sheer quantity. I've already unloaded the back seat of the car, but we got multiple boxes here, and I spent $1,500. Look at all the newspaper from unpacking. Absolutely insane. Okay guys, so this is the glass all laid out. It kind of gets better as we go along the table here. We have some ruby glass. Now some more cut crystal. Another ruby glass there. That black vase, it's actually amethyst glass, but you need to hold it up to the light. Got some carnival glass, claret jug, and a couple of rolling pins. I spent $1,541 at the auction, and there are 3 pieces on this table which I think will get me that money back. I'll give you a hint, the more valuable stuff is down that end. Not sure if you can pick out the 3 that I'm thinking about. Hello everybody, welcome to another video. We've got a lot to get through on this one, and I said I thought I could get my money back on 3 items alone, and here they are. You might have seen these on the table from earlier. Now, in the center here we have what is the most valuable piece. It's a cut crystal claret jug mounted with sterling silver. It's dated to, I wrote it down, 1893. I got that from the date letter, stamped into the silver. I'm going to do another video on that piece because it really is exceptionally good. The cutting on this thing is just incredible, and I did do a little repair to the lip. It was dented in, you can't really tell anymore. Tiny little tear to it, but that only allowed me to get it for a cheaper price. Paid close to $300 for that. Now on the left we have carnival glass. I don't normally buy carnival glass. This one is called Peacock at the Fountain, and after some research I found out that is actually the official name from the company, which was called Northwood, and surprisingly it's over 100 years old, perhaps from around 1910, and I thought that it was from the 50s when I saw it, because I don't know a lot about carnival glass. I just knew that some patterns are worth more, and I thought this is such a beautiful design. I didn't really notice the fountain in the auction house, just the bird, and I thought this has to be one of the more valuable pieces. It's also on a blue base, and I seem to recall that blue carnival glass was worth a bit more, and honestly I don't normally like carnival glass, but whoever came up with sort of this gradient, it's not going to focus, gradient of colour from the blue base sort of up the stem, and this lovely balance of iridescence here, really mastered just balancing all those colours. There's a chip to the base up the top there, but it was in the description and that probably kept the price down. I paid less than $100 for that. And this last piece here is a lovely green overlay glass. Vase, very interesting pattern, and we do have a sticker, and it's Val St. Lambert. Not sure if that's showing up. The name is also inscribed onto the cut and polished base. Maker's name. Very interesting, unique pattern. I really like it. I love the green. It's sort of a forest green with a hint of olive. I was worried I was going to do that. And it had little cardboard pads on the base, and they came off, and I think they've protected it from wear. So this glass was never actually touching the shelf it was sitting on. So interesting to think that, you know, older pieces, if they had that kind of padding, they wouldn't have the wear you'd expect. It came in with a few other things for, I think it was just under $200. Okay, so those are the 3 pieces that are going to get my money back, and everything else that was piled up in the car, or the sort of low value stuff, will be where my profit is. Let's get going and look at some other pieces. Those can maybe just sit in the background there looking pretty. This one I picked up and haven't seen one of these before. It's like a jacketed, it's like a double layer, like with an air gap in there. And it's by Bodum, and I found these online. And they're for like drinking coffee for fancy people, so that you don't get your fingers burned by the hot wall of the cup. I guess if you don't like using cups with handles, you could use one of these. And there's a funny name on here. What is it? Souffle bouche, which apparently means mouth blown. There's a word there that looks sort of German. I'm not convinced as to where they're actually made. It says registered Switzerland. So anyway, guys, who knows if they're made in Asia? I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. They're not worth a lot of money. Yeah, let's just clear the stuff here. This is from the auction. I've just cleaned it and polished the silver. I sort of squished out the dents as best as I could from the inside. 1907. And I forget the maker. It was Tozer, Kersley, and someone else. So yeah, 1907, hobnail. I think this is hobnail. I'm calling it hobnail. Cutting and a striker base. Lovely design actually, with the butterfly alighting on the petunia there. Bit nicer than just your sort of random swirls and arabesques, sort of like this thing. It's a bit random. It's nice to actually have something depicted, sort of a Art Nouveau piece, I suppose. Another piece with silver. This is from 1915, and I spent a lot of time cleaning this out. Lovely faceted scent bottle, sterling silver lid with the date letter again. Pretty good condition. It was filled with little glass beads that were off colour, and there's a bit of grime in there. It just looks horrible. I think the beads might have been original to the piece, perhaps so you didn't need as much perfume to fill it up, or perhaps so when you poured it out it didn't all spill out as easily. Not really sure, but it looks a lot better when you don't drop it. Looks a lot better when it's empty of those beads. Yeah, just over 100 years old. This was an interesting one, and I've written down the details. It's Davidson, 1890 to about 1900, and it's called Lady Chippendale, and it's Pearldine glass. We call this Vaseline glass down here, and there's an RD number in the base. I think you'll be able to see. I think it was 176. Let me read it out for you. 176566. And this corresponds actually to the pattern. So this same RD number appears on jugs and things as well, with the same Lady Chippendale pattern. I really quite like this. It's a little salt dish, or even could be used for dipping sauce. And I suspect it's not worth very much because it is such a small piece, so I'm thinking about keeping it, because I don't have any Vaseline glass in my collection. And yeah, it's older than I was anticipating as well. It's in good condition. Quite like it. Nice little thing there. Okay. By the way, the maker of that was Matthew John Jessup on the silver. No idea if they made the glass. I'm guessing not. We've got a lot to get through, so I'll keep moving. This is a Galliano Irish coffee glass, but it says Cafe Romano here. And it turns out that's actually a cocktail made with a Galliano espresso liqueur. And so there you have a proper glass to serve in. It's a hot drink, I believe. So I kind of like the design, and I've always wanted to try Galliano because I like the bottles. Remember them, the odd time I'd go into the pub, like when I was very young with my mother or someone, and the Galliano was always up on the top shelf in those crazy bottles, and no one ever drank it. It was just always there with all the crazy colours. So yeah, quite like the font. I had 4 of those. Not worth much, obviously. This piece here, I'm really happy with. This is, I think, a whiskey. I thought vase at first, but I think it's actually a whiskey tumbler. Quite a heavy base to it. It's by Edinburgh Crystal. And it has one of the earlier etches from the, I think, 20s and 30s. You have to apologise, I'm not going to get the macro lens out. There it is. Edinburgh E and L, that's Edinburgh and Leith, I think. Crystal. It also says made in Scotland, so it's actually a different etch to any of the ones that appear on the website that I look at, which has these back stamps all listed for the different companies. So it has both crystal and made in England, which is a bit unusual. Anyway, star cut base, this is all cut and polished as well. Diamond cut sides, really quite thin crystal, really nice tingy ring to it. And to think this relatively fragile thing, especially being flared out like this, has survived without chips for probably close to 100 years, is just extraordinary. And it was $4. I bought that at a tip shop, and I'm going to charge a lot of money for it. Excuse me, I just need to have a sip of tea. Oh, it's been one of those days. Here's another tip shop find, because I normally drop in the tip when I'm going to the auction. Now this is an Italian Royal Crystal Rock champagne flute. It's called Ambassador. And you look down, you can see these stars in the base. See that star down there? And yeah, I really like this pattern. It's one of the first patterns I found when I got into glass. Don't normally buy these, but now, you know, some of this glass is getting a little cheaper. I noticed just very recently. So $2 a stem. I bought 6. We'll see how I go selling them. Could have been a mistake yet, but you'll find out. Now we have something really interesting, at least for me. A couple of pieces here, and this is what I initially thought was Bohemia, that rich cut, almost like a Queen's Lace deal, but guess what, folks? It's not Bohemia. This is by Joseph Riedel, or Riedel, and no maker's mark on this one at all. This pattern is called Kimberley. I have found that. I'll chuck in the screenshot if I can. And decent sized wine glass, this one. And yeah, say what you want about it. Is it a bit busy? I don't know, I kind of like them. I think it's a genuine, like, niche within cut crystal, these sort of busy designs. They do look pretty spectacular. I think they're actually hand cut, because the center, I'm not going to focus it, goddammit. If you look at the star in the middle on the side, it's actually not quite centered in that cartouche. So I think they're actually hand cut. Star cut base. Yeah, Kimberley by Riedel. Now, here's another one, smaller. So that's basically JR, those letters. And it confused the hell out of me, because I thought it was like a CB. And I'm thinking these are Bohemia, like, is the B somehow Bohemia? And after a lot of stuffing around searching, I found out, no, it's a JR for Joseph Riedel. Funnily enough, this exact pattern, or almost exact at least, it might even be exact, appears on Bohemia, this panel, but not with the double border. So did Riedel, which has an interesting history, let's say, commissioned Bohemia to make these? I'm not sure. And here's another one. This is called San Michel. It's the same pattern, but it has a notched, hexagonal stem with notches on the edges. And again, maker's mark down the bottom. The strange thing is, I've only started seeing this maker's mark the last, like, 6 months. And I always think they're Bohemia, so I've just left them alone. These are the first ones that I've purchased. And now I know they're Riedel. Now, Riedel does sell for a little bit more than Bohemia. It's not super valuable, though. So I'm going to start buying this maker's mark, I think, when I see it. It actually goes back to the 90s. I don't know why I haven't seen it before, but I haven't. But that was a really good thing to learn about, because I think I'm going to, now that I'm familiar with it, I think I'm going to keep finding that maker's mark. Let's get rid of the crap first. This is Crown Crystal, and my reference book says they just call it the Ripple pattern. I don't know if that's an official name. I don't think it is. And it's got that ugly off colour. It looks like tap water from Tasmania in the 1980s. and pretty horrid crap, but it came in with the auction stuff. Anchor Hawking made a similar pattern according to that book, but I'm guessing that's the crown one. This is also crown crystal. You see a lot of these. I never buy them, that just came in with the auction, and they were made in different colours, but no one buys these jugs. You could get a little jug and a sugar bowl. I think they're quite nice actually, but nobody wants them. We're getting through this quick, aren't we? Now, when I go through glass and I find chipped ones, I store them upside down. That way I'll never accidentally sell it as a non-chipped piece. That's just my system. I've shown this pattern before. Can you guess what it is? Starts with W. It's Waterford. Waterford Lismore. And big old chip up the top there. I bought 7 of these, along with some other glass in a lot, and I inspected them at auction and I noticed 4 of them were unchipped, so that's pretty good. I'll still be able to sell the chipped ones, folks, just don't worry about that. I might have to sand out the chips a little bit. It has the maker's mark somewhere. I feel like an idiot because I didn't even notice the hexagonal stem. I just picked it up and looked underneath and saw Waterford, but I should have recognised that instantly because I've been able to recognise them before. Yeah, pretty, not a ton of Waterford around here, but there's often in that pattern. This is a Stuart crystal. It's marked on the base. I won't show you. Bow. This pattern is called Bow with just a diamond cutting. There's no verticals coming off it. If it had verticals, it would be the Carlingford. That's called Bow. And we have another bow. When they have a stem, it's just, I'll put it back here because that's where it wants to focus. Almost like lens cuts in the stem or notches. Yeah, got 3 of those. Pretty common pattern for Stuart down here. Alright, let's go to the ruby glass. This is interesting. I have sets of 6 of all of these from the auction. We'll start with crap first. This is, I think, a Bohemia. I've found some references to this style of glass. I'll have to double check as I edit the video, but yeah, it's alright, I'm going to need some white. There's sort of an orange hue to it, which I really don't like in ruby glass. From a bit of a distance, it's more of a like cartoon cherry red colour, but if you look, you know, kind of an orange hue. Actually, tongue-tied. It's a bit worse on camera than in person, but yeah, not my favourite hue of ruby glass. Quite a nice design though, really. Almost like a tulip or something. Sometimes this is called a claw. Holding it up there. Twisted stem. This one appears to be by a company called Gibson I've never heard of, and it's called Gibson Progression. Also orange. A bit darker than the last piece I showed you. And they made different sizes of these. I have 6 of them. I'll sell them cheaply. I'm not impressed by those. This, however, I am impressed by. Very strange stem. Look at the massive sort of bulb. 2 bulbs. The bottom ones are really big. There's a scratch mark underneath, almost like a gadget mark. No, it's not going to focus. No pontal or anything. And the hue of these, yeah, it still looks a bit orange. It's actually not orange. It's an absolutely majestic ruby colour. Haven't been able to identify it. It's driving me crazy. Found a few similar ones, but not the same. I think the key to identifying this will be that strange stem. I had a look through Whitefriars catalogues. I couldn't find anything like that. I had a couple of brandy balloons with a bulb stem, but nothing like this really. Here's another piece of ruby glass. It's got a base, sort of a ribbed base, almost like a swung vase, cut and polished. A bit of roughness there showing through. Some wear, but not a lot. I'm guessing it's mid-century. Very nice hue as well to this one. Again, looks a bit more orange on camera. But I really like the colour. It's just a little, I don't know, you can see where they've pinched that in with the tongs. Like, it's just a little rough the way they've done that. Again, a bit of roughness to that base. It's almost not quite as smooth and slick as I would expect from like a Murano piece or a Scandinavian piece. But I took some really clear photos of this and did Google image searches, and a lot of stuff that was very similar came up, but normally without the ribbing, and just everything was different. So I don't know who made it. Got a feeling it might be English, but I don't know why I'm saying that. Pretty useless though. I don't even know, is it a vase or a bowl? Candle holder. Pretty odd thing. Hope that was interesting. There's some really good stuff here. I don't normally have this high quality glass to show off to you guys, so hope that was a good one. Thank you for watching.